Hi, welcome to the Upgrade with Megan. I am fresh out of the gym, picking the kids up from school, realizing, wanting to focus on something different and wanting to talk to you guys about it. So after doing the quantum upgrade with the car leap, replicating the results, giving myself permission to now rest this week and totally rest and receive next week when we're on our family holiday. Oh man, it's so nice here today and everybody's out on their bikes and it makes me so happy. Receiving when we're on this family trip in Mexico. I was thinking today while I was in the gym, while I was on the treadmill, watching this great podcast with one of the coaches that I follow and who's course creators that I've had. Her name is Amanda Francis. I think she was on the Good Enough podcast. I'll have to look at and link it in the show notes. But watching her speak about her life and how she mothers and how she runs her business and how she really moves through life got me thinking about how I want to move through life and what I want to do now. And thinking about how I feel how successful that the workshop, the Successful Empath, went on Sunday, how I want to replicate that, really doing kind of this review of the last month, being like, now I get to think about what did I like? What did I not like? What do I want to do better? What do I need to keep doing? Not what I have to, because it's like, I feel like I'm chasing this high all the time of wanting to fix stuff to make it better. Like if I just do this and then I'm like, whoa. What if I just slow down and create some space for me to feel into what it is that I actually want, what it is that I actually desire? Knowing that I've done this incredible research project, not once, but twice, now I get to be like, okay, so what do we want to do? What's really fun? Because you think of any physical symptom you have is trying to tell you something. Your body's trying to always tell you something. And lately, this sounds so bad, but I think you're also going to get it. I just feel really dry. It doesn't matter how much water I drink. I've been in this water challenge with my friends. I'm always thirsty. And my skin is just, it doesn't matter what moisturizer I'm using. It's just I feel like I'm shriveling up like a grape that's been tossed on the deck and shriveling up into a raisin. And that's not, I don't want to be a raisin. I want to be a plump, juicy grape that when you bite into, you get the most satisfying feeling in your whole life. It makes my mouth water. That's the life I desire. That's what I want. But I'm okay, so what in my life do I have right now that brings that feeling? Where can I bring that feeling into what I already have in my life? Not to chase this feeling, not to feel like I don't have it and now I have to work even harder to get this thing. It's how can I focus on making the life that I have juicier? Because things are going well. Things are going really well. I feel like I've plateaued and leveled almost every single area of my life, and I'm learning to hold that feeling. So instead of being okay, well now I'm ready for the next, we gotta do this thing, what are we gonna do? Okay, this feels good. How do I make this? How do I want this to feel better? How do I want this to be the next level? How can I calibrate my mind, body, soul, my energy for this next level, for that upgrade? Because I think about it and how my life feels both extremely boring and very exciting at the same time. I have not been writing this month nearly as much as I did the month before when I was in the Mercedes. And I'm okay, but why? Because that's important to me. I want to be a best-selling author. However that may be. I want to walk into a bookstore and have a table full of my books. I want you to come to my house and be show me where you write. And there's just shelves of all my books. I know that's in my future. I desire that with all my heart. This is the goal. I want to travel. I want to write. I want to and teach through that way. So I'm well, I can't really get there if I'm not writing. So just being curious about what stopped me from writing this month. I think a lot of my focus was on the workshop, and as I'm building something that feels very foundational that I do think is going to be a book one day, and turning it into an online course and having it be a real pillar to my business and an asset to my life. I wanted to make sure that the foundation that I was building on was solid. And that took a little bit more time and energy from my life, and it had to come from somewhere. I think too, also coming on this trip has taken up more time than I'm used to having, right? So it's like, now that I know what it's like to plan for a trip and work and hold this workshop and do all these things, knowing that I don't ever have to, like, I'm not going to have to lay out that foundation of a structure of a workshop while planning a trip in the same month again, right? Or if I do, I can time it better. I can do all that before I even book. Like, it's just, I've done nothing but learn. There's this great big magpie with a great big stick. Nothing but learn, like, the last couple of months, and being able to approach that in that way of, like, being really curious and excited about being curious about, like, now where am I going to go with this? What does this mean? Oh, it just feels so good. I think too, something that came up today is that so many of us, we want somebody to tell us what to do. I think that's a huge part of, like, wanting to be saved and wanting things to be easier, because I think what we're all looking for is an easier life, right? Like, there's an inspired and easier life, one that's heart-led. But, and as much as we want someone to tell us what to do, what we're really wanting is someone to hold the space for us to be able to help figure out ourselves. I'm like, I personally don't feel like I have a lot of regular space, consistent space, to be able to have that and have the level of questions that I need to be asked to me to be able to get to where I am. Could any of the people in my life point out what's wrong with me and what I should be doing? 100%. Is that how I want to operate? Absolutely not. I want to find the answer from someone that's inspiring me, that sees me to be able to see more. And this came up in one of my meditation and Reiki sessions that I hold at Luna Integrative on the weekends and on Fridays. And they were talking about how it's like, what's your job? It's like, I can see your highest potential always. I see who you are, healed, loved, like flourishing in life with time, money, energy, connections, all of that. I see you at that level. That's how I see anybody that comes in. My job is to help you get rid of anything that's not allowing that to happen in the order that your body wants it to happen in. And I just kept thinking about that. I'm like, could I walk into everybody I see and tell them what's wrong with them and why and what they're actually destined for? 100%. Does anybody really like that? Maybe like a little bit, but does it give you the long-term success results? No. What we want is like this space, and I was in one of these spaces this morning, which is why it helped remind me of this. I've joined like a membership, and being able to, like, when you are in the energy of people that are ahead of you in the life that you desire, they know the questions to ask. They know how to, like, activate you into a realization to help you be able to get there. They make it seem real. They make it seem easy, and they make it seem very probable. And then in turn, becomes very easy and probable to be able to ascertain, and in usually pretty short order. So it's just really, it was an interesting morning, and it's an interesting day. And then being able to think at the gym, being able to, what I feel like my next step is to really solidify what it is I desire, how, not necessarily how I desire, but like what's important. How can I take all the information that I've learned from the Mercedes and from BlackBerry and from like trying to replicate these last couple of months? How can I take all that information and have it work in a system that works for me? Something that's really, what feels really boring because it's just doing the same thing over and over again, but leads me to a calm and peaceful, but also joyful and adventurous life full of absolute gratitude, because it's aligned with my heart's desire and my highest truth. Does that make sense? Because I think my life looks really boring. It's like, oh, I met up with a friend. It's like, oh, what's new? I'm like, nothing. I just do the same thing all the time, but it's working, and I like that, and it's calm. But at the same time, it's like where I'm going is really exciting. How I'm getting there, maybe not so exciting, but where I'm going is really exciting. And I'm excited to get there.